Ever stared at a flight confirmation screen with sweaty palms and a racing heart, wondering if solo travel is brave or just plain bonkers? Yeah, same. But here's the truth. Solo travel doesn't have to be scary. It can actually be your most liberating experience yet.
Ready for your fast pass to unforgettable adventures? Welcome to Talk Travel to Me. Featuring our Mickey Guru Travel Company expert travel advisors, this podcast will guide you in traveling with more ease, confidence, and a sprinkle of magic. Tune in for unique insights, insider info, tips, and personal travel stories that'll transform your journeys into exhilarating moments and lifelong memories. Fasten your seatbelt, grab your passport, let's embark, and let's talk travel.
Hi, travelers, and welcome to Let's Talk About. Talk Travel to Me's new miniseries where we dive into travel topics that we all think about, but don't always talk about out loud. Today, we're getting into something that can feel exciting, intimidating, and everything in between, traveling alone. Whether you're planning your first solo adventure or just curious if it's for you, I've got some tips, real talk, and encouragement coming your way. And for those of you who may be listening to our podcast for the first time, welcome! My name is Christy Willette, and I'm the owner and founder of Mickey Guru Travel Company and host of Talk Travel to Me. I live in Southern New Hampshire and have been a professional travel agent for nearly 13 years now. I've traveled solo to Disney World, Universal, Orlando, Disneyland. I've enjoyed a solo cruise, and I even went all the way to Hawaii by myself. That trip especially reminded me how empowering and enriching solo travel can be. Sure, it's a little scary at first, but it's also incredibly freeing. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. First up, I want to talk about choosing the right destination. Really, it's one of the most important decisions you're going to make when you are planning any trip, but especially a solo trip. You want to start maybe with something small. Don't recommend doing your first solo trip jetting off to Hawaii, but maybe doing a weekend in a nearby city. I live in Southern New Hampshire, so the idea of maybe going to Boston for a weekend or heading up to Maine, maybe in Old Orchard Beach and kind of just hanging out there for a weekend and kind of testing the waters a little bit. Pick a place that aligns with your interest and comfort level. If you love live theater, museums, and city vibes, perhaps a trip to Boston or New York might be a great place to start. If you prefer a slower pace with time to commune with nature, the Oregon coast could be for you. And honestly, for me, that's on my bucket list. Not sure I'll go solo, but I would. So we'll see. And also look for destinations that are known to be solo travel friendly. Not every place is. For example, if you have a dream of going to an all-inclusive resort in the Caribbean, Sandals is couples only. So you wouldn't necessarily be able to experience one of their resorts as a solo traveler. If you're looking to stay within the US, there's a lot to do as a solo traveler in San Francisco, Nashville, Sedona, Arizona. Hello, spa retreat? Yes, please. When you're traveling solo, it's always important to share your itinerary with a friend. Maybe activate that share my iPhone with a series of people so that people can figure out where you are if you need them. And make sure you're always staying aware of surroundings. It's so important to keep safety top of mind without letting fear stop you. I think it's really important when you're traveling solo to be sure that you've shared your itinerary with a friend. Maybe set up some additional people that you're sharing your location with on your iPhone. And obviously, staying aware of the surroundings that you're in. You want to have your routes planned out. You want to know where you are, and you want to make sure you're just using good common sense. Solo travel isn't reckless. There is a way to do it and have a phenomenal time while ensuring your safety and trusting yourself. Being cautious, after all, is empowering, not limiting. Another really popular concern for someone that's considering solo travel is the idea of dining alone. And I can promise you that dining alone isn't scary. And honestly, people dine alone all the time. In fact, the next time you're out to dinner with your partner or your friends, look around. You will see people enjoying a meal all by themselves. It can help sometimes to bring a book, a journal. You could just enjoy people watching. And then, of course, you always have your trusty phone to distract yourself if need be. But I would challenge you, if possible, put all of that away and just enjoy your own company, enjoy some people watching, and really kind of just be present in the moment. You get to choose exactly where you want to eat, what you want to eat, and how quickly or slowly your meal takes. So, for all of those reasons, I think it's not scary. It's actually really empowering, and I'm a fan of it. You can also give it a try at home at a local restaurant so you can kind of just get your feet wet on this little piece if you're feeling a little uneasy about that. There are several benefits to solo travel. It allows you to learn to trust yourself, boost your confidence. You could literally plan an itinerary based on only what you want. It gives you a lot of freedom, and you're deciding what's going to light you up, not having to concern yourself with anybody else. Great for personal reflection, spontaneous fun. And let me just say, if you're one of those people that enjoys meeting new people while you're out and about, this is a great way to do it. So there's definitely a reason why I find theme parks to be some of the best spots for solo travel. And I will say that that really started for me because A, I'm very comfortable in a theme park. Disney World, Disneyland, Universal, it doesn't really matter, but I feel comfortable in that environment. I do feel extraordinarily safe. And so the idea of just kind of making my way around, let's say Magic Kingdom, with nobody to consider but myself is really freeing. I have very often actually sat on a bench with my coffee and watched people for longer than I probably should admit. But it's part of being there and being in the ambiance and just kind of really soaking in all of the things around me, which just isn't possible when I'm there with either my team of agents or with my family because we're always on the go looking for new experiences. So being by yourself allows for that flexibility. And if I was sat on the bench, in fact, I have a favorite bench, I will tell you. On Main Street, when you first walk into the Magic Kingdom, you go in just a little bit, and then to the left, there is a bench right there, which you can watch people's reactions as they enter Magic Kingdom for the first time. Highly, highly recommend. But I can sit there for as long as I feel like, and then I can make my way to a ride that makes me happy. Tiana's Bayou Adventure, for example, is one of my favorites. I also could ride the People Mover in Tomorrowland multiple times, and when I'm there solo, I do. So it's just very, allows for a very relaxed visit. You can do as much or as little as you want. And then you can maybe head back to the hotel and use the pool and hang out there without having to consider anybody else's wants and needs, which is, gosh, I know I've said it already, but it's so freeing. It's wonderful. I will say that one of the things I've done a solo cruise, as I mentioned in the opening. I don't love a solo cruise experience. I did feel like I wanted to connect with other people, and I'm just not somebody that's really comfortable going to like one of the clubs and just striking up a conversation or sitting down at dinner and talking to the person next to me. Like all of that is a little stressful to me. But I do think that after I had done that one solo cruise, I'm more prepared to do it again, and I would take that challenge. For sure. Let's get to some questions about solo travel that were submitted by people that follow me on TikTok, which is kind of where this episode came from. So let's get to those. Okay, first question is what's the best accommodation for solo travelers? Hotel, hostel, Airbnb, or something else? So, my personal opinion is that you staying at a reputable hotel in a good area is going to be far superior than any of the other situations. I certainly don't recommend vacation home rentals for solo travel, but I do think that a hostel could be right in the right situations. How do I stay safe with my money and belongings? I love this question, and I will say that the number one tip I have for this is to only carry small amounts of cash. You can have your credit card, but carrying cash around is just never a great idea, especially when you're traveling alone. So I usually say put a small amount of cash in your wallet, have a credit card, your driver's license, and then you putting it in a cross-body bag rather than a purse on your shoulder just gives you a little bit more security. I also highly recommend a RFID blocking wallet so that if you are in an area where people are doing that phishing for your information, it won't get through. Is solo travel expensive? Well, how to budget smartly and avoid paying the solo supplement can be a consideration. The reality is, whether you're taking a cruise or you're staying at a hotel, the cost of the room is the cost of the room. So you won't necessarily save on the cost of your accommodations, but you'll obviously save on meal expenses, you'll on excursions, and if you're going to the theater, you're only going to have to buy one theater ticket, so that's a good thing, right? And what do I do if something goes wrong and I'm all alone? So, emergency planning and staying connected to your people back at home is really important. You want to make sure that everybody has a copy of your itinerary, that you are sharing your location, and then also remember that in this day and age, you might not have somebody with you in the same city that you're in, but people are nearby. So, if you've been waiting for a sign to book that solo trip, this might just be it. Traveling alone can feel intimidating at first, but with the right mindset, a little planning, and a dash of courage, it can become one of the most rewarding experiences of your life. You get to move at your own pace, follow your curiosity, and learn a ton about yourself along the way. Whether it's a solo park day at Disney or a big bold adventure to Hawaii, trust me, it's worth it. If today's episode gave you something to think about or helped ease some of those pre travel jitters, I'd love to hear from you. You can send the show a text, which, by the way, no one has done yet, so you could be the very first. The number is 904-867-4466. You can also find that number right in the show notes. You could also follow us on Instagram at Talk Travel to Me Pod for behind the scenes peeks, tips, and future episode updates. And if you're craving more visual travel inspo, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel over at Mickey Guru Travel. There's so much more to come. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Wherever you're headed next, I hope it's somewhere that lights you up. See you real soon.
Thanks for listening to Talk Travel to Me. We hope this episode cracked open inspiration for the treasures that await you at your next dream destination. If you love the show, please review, subscribe, and share it with a friend. At Mickey Guru Travel Company, we're your trusted guides for theme parks, cruises, resorts, and more. Visit our website at mickey guru.com to learn more and book your vacation today.